What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, Carved Up Vegan Muscle. Today I want to talk to you about the subject of conditioning. It's not something that I have discussed a lot with you guys, and it's not really something that I put a ton of effort into, but at least I probably I still won't put a ton of effort into it until after this semester is over. I am currently working on both practicum and clinical hours as a dietitian, and I pick up my kids from school. I teach a class 4 nights a week at the YMCA on barbell movements, and I also work at the YMCA just as a floor trainer, just talking to people, spotting, that kind of thing. So I am really just stripping everything I do down to bare bones and getting my strength workouts in, and then doing stuff with the strongman gym still. So I really don't have a lot of additional time, but if I did, these are some of the practices that I would do, and these are what things that I integrate into the barbell movements classes that I teach. And that is some of these conditioning exercises. Usually I will have people do 2 or 3 movements. For the Olympic weightlifting class, we obviously do snatches, clean and jerks, or at least cleans, and we also do push presses and squats. And then for the more powerlifting dominated class, I do just the movements that I've told you guys before: the squat, bench, deadlift, rows, and overhead pressing. But for both classes, I integrate these what's called a complex. Now, Olympic weightlifters are no stranger to complexes. They are traditionally a part of Olympic weightlifting because I think Olympic weightlifting has long recognized the need for being able to push hard throughout a workout. A lot of guys will do a set or of an exercise, maybe it's the squat or something, and then they feel pretty trashed after that, and they're not really able to go on because their work capacity is fairly low. So you want to build up your work capacity, your ability to push through a workout and continue to increase what you're able to do. And conditioning can be an effective way to increase that. So including some of these, they don't take long, and I actually am going to show you one that I have done here recently, because even though I don't do it regularly like I should, I still do and put in complexes of different kinds. Now, what I'm going to show you is one that I've done here at my house, but what I do when I'm at the class in the YMCA, I have all kinds of resources. We have the bumper plates and the bars, and we have a whole room dedicated to Olympic type lifting. So my neighbor's waving at me. So what I end up doing with that class, though, is we have the battle ropes. So I'll usually do that for maybe 30 seconds or something, or it'll be on a scale. So they'll start at 30. Next set will be 25 seconds. Next set 20. And they do these rounds. So battle ropes might be one of those. Another would be we call it wall ball, or you could call it a medicine ball push press, where they actually take the ball and throw it up against the wall and catch it and come back down into a kind of like maybe a half squat or position or so, or some people go really low. So that's another one. They might do 5 reps or 10 reps for that. It just depends on how I've structured the complex for that day. Kettlebell swings, kettlebell front squats. I do a lot with kettlebells. I have a class of mostly mixed, I shouldn't say mixed, there's men and women, but it's dominated by women that aren't necessarily in the greatest of shape. So I might include more barbell movements in some of what we do, but in that part as well. They do barbell movements for strength in the beginning, but I could potentially put them in here, except that I don't know that it would be all that effective for some of those ladies. So I don't do that for them. I don't do it for those classes in particular, but I could, or you could integrate them if you wanted to do this. Another one is rope climbing. They will actually climb up the rope. If they're not able to climb up the rope, then what they will do is just sit on the floor with their feet against the wall, and they will pull themselves up into a standing position, and then they'll let themselves back down. And that's something that most people can at least start to do. And if they can't do that, then I set up one of the TRX stations, and they actually just do pull-ups. So they're kind of just leaning back, and they actually just pull themselves forward, and that thing, like that is it's like a I don't know, Michael Jackson and the, you know, that leaning kind of thing. Yeah, I'm weird. All right, so that's a few ideas. Usually I have a push, a pull, a squat, and even in the complex, that's also how I set up workouts, push, pull, squat. And then the other thing that we will do is some type of core specific. It could be just crunches, it could be burpees. I don't know that I would specifically call it a core thing, but we do the scissor push-ups where you like lay flat with your hands above your head and your feet stretched out flat, and then you bring both of them up into a scissor where they come together and you touch and go back down. So some kind of core workout like that, and that's usually it. So I'm going to show you. So that's what I do with those classes. And if you have resources at your gym, you could do those. Kettlebells are always great for conditioning type stuff, in my opinion. But here is one that I did a couple weeks ago, and you guys take it easy, and I'll talk to you next time. So here I am doing this crazy stuff with the keg. What I would recommend doing here instead, if you don't have a keg, which most people don't, is doing either a just regular clean and press or a clean with a barbell, or what you could do is kettlebell cleans. I'm not very good at those, so they can be kind of painful, but if you do it a couple times and watch a few videos on it, you see I don't always make it up here. This is a 200-pound keg. It's really heavy to try and do this with. But what I am doing is a set of 5 on all of these workouts. I think I did the keg lift here. I did some front squats, and I think I did pull-ups, and that was all that I did. But I did these. This was the first set. This was a set of 5 all around. The next set that I do after this that I did not film, this was just to give you guys an idea. My daughter was actually filming it, but this was a set of 5, and then I went back after this and did a set of 4, and then I did a set of 3, set of 2, and set of 1. And sometimes the classes that I mentioned that I do at the YMCA, I structure their complexes that way as well. So it's just another way of doing it. I'm not a big fan of doing things for time all the time, but in this case, look, you can see my compost in there. That was bananas and stuff I'd had that day. My daughter wasn't sure I wanted her to keep filming or not, but you can see I'm not particularly greatly conditioned, so I'm already pretty worn out from this. But here goes my front squatting. This is just 135 on the bar. I had already done squatting earlier in the day this day, so I was probably burnt out anyways on squatting, but here I did front squat. At least it was something a little bit different than what I was accustomed to. But this is also, I guess this would be how weightlifters do cardio, I guess. But here is I'm going to do some pull-ups, and that will be it. That's all I'm doing. So these are strict pull-ups. I'm not like flinging my body around or anything. But after you do all those other things, and bear in mind I had also already worked out this day, doing 5 pull-ups is killer. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and peace. Take it easy. So that's one set. Next set will be sets of 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll be done. I turn off a second.